Welcome to Petty Details, where the crew gallivants down a tree-lined lane of conversation on all kinds of different subjects. Join the crew as they jump in the Wayback Machine in the quest for nuggets of knowledge. Our journey will allegedly drop some petty details on you that you didn't know you needed to know until now. Hello!
Hello.
Welcome to Petty
Hello,
Details
hello.
with my co-hosts, Cam and Monica, as always.
What's up?
Please subscribe. Leave us comments. We actually got a really nice comment today.
It made my whole day.
Yeah, so thank you, Joella. That was a great
Yes.
comment.
Very nice.
Yep. So shout out to all our people that actually watch us.
Yes.
Right?
We
And
love
if you
you.
don't, that's fine too. Just go ahead and let it play for a couple minutes and then we get the
Heck yeah.
then we
Be sure to like it
We get the
too.
view.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Leave a comment saying, I watched a minute of this.
Right.
Right.
I
Yeah.
had it playing in the background.
Although you will
Hopefully
miss
you
the
learn
best
something.
parts, which
Oh,
is
that's
the
true.
petty details. So,
Right.
Absolutely.
That's the whole point of it.
yep.
And hopefully you learn something new. I mean, it's
Right.
bonus. Added
Right.
bonus.
Whole point, right?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. So today is St. Patrick's Day.
What are we talking about today, Meg?
So I thought to celebrate that I would butcher some Irish words for you
Yes.
and talk about
Of
leprechauns.
course.
All right.
Right.
I'm going to see if I can read them without my glasses. So please
What do you
forgive
mean?
me.
You have your glasses on right there.
I was gonna say, you mean to tell me that
Those are
those
prescription.
Yeah.
shamrocks aren't prescription?
No,
Right, right.
I should have gotten that all worked out before this. Okay. So,
Ugh.
what is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about the leprechaun image?
Pot of gold.
Yeah, like rainbow, pot of gold.
Right.
Mhm.
So, small, red beard,
Yeah.
Right.
green top
Ginger.
hat, green
Oh
coat,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
buckle shoes.
The one from the movie.
Yeah.
Creepy,
Um,
terrifying,
smiling at the
scary.
end of the
Yeah.
rainbow with the, big pot of gold, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But as we've seen with pretty much everything else St. Patrick's Day related, this is more of a modern image to sell something like cute shirts and cereal.
Cute
Cute
shirts.
Yes.
shirts.
Oh,
Uh,
and
Good
the
luck,
cute
bear.
dog.
yes. So let's get
Aw.
into some folklore.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna establish a couple things here. Fairies and goblins in Irish culture are very like blanket terms.
Okay.
Okay.
So a fairy is a supernatural being that is found around like burial mounds, and they can be
Okay.
either good or bad if you make them angry.
Okay.
They can go either way. A goblin is more of a shape-shifting spirit, but
Oh,
they can also be
interesting.
good or bad. But
Okay.
they're
Okay.
usually more associated with farming.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have sprites, which are more
Mm. Better than
fairy-like.
Coke.
Yeah, but they're better than Coke.
Agreed.
They should sponsor us. Um,
Right? Especially for this one.
for real. Okay, so we have sprites which are more like fairy-like, but they're more associated
Mm.
with water.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And there's a bunch of different lore that leprechauns could come from, and nobody quite agrees.
But okay.
Right. As
However,
no one does.
right. However,
Right.
it does look like, the Santa Claus thing where leprechauns are like a mix of a bunch of different lore.
Okay.
I'm
Mm.
gonna give you that.
And it all
Okay.
came from a pamphlet.
It
It
did.
all came from a pamphlet. That's
The
right.
almighty pamphlet.
Right.
Okay. So,
Those are bugging you, aren't they?
yeah, no. I can't read. I'm like trying to read. I can't read.
Put them
No.
on. Oh, look, there you go.
All
I
right,
was
There.
gonna
I
say
got
put them
it.
up
I
on
gotta do
top.
both.
Yes.
That's
What?
ridiculous.
That's funny.
Okay.
Ugh.
Sorry. Okay, so we have the Irish Celtic god Lu,
Mm.
Okay.
who was the god of sun and light, and he was a
Okay.
warrior ruler of Ireland.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Lu changes over time. He changes to, please excuse me if these are wrong, Lou Cromaine, which means
Okay.
stooping Lou. So he's
Okay.
getting
Oh.
smaller as the time goes on.
Interesting.
So he goes
Oh.
from like God to like the stooping character, right?
Right.
And
Huh.
He's
he
like your
ends
weird
up,
Okay.
uncle.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. And he ends up like changing from God of the sun and light to living in
Hmm.
the underworld with the other
Oh.
ancient gods when the country becomes more
Okay.
Christianized.
Interesting.
Oh.
They like banish him.
Yeah.
Right. They banish all your gods when they Christianize your country.
That's
Pretty
right.
much.
So Lou then becomes a fairy craftsman,
Hmm.
then
Okay.
a small fairy goblin,
Okay.
which is
Okay.
how he gets linked to the Leprechaun origin story.
I was
I
gonna
would say he's
ask, is that
evolving,
where
but I
the
feel like he's
stature
evolving
comes
with it.
from? You're right.
Yeah, part of it.
I'm assuming that's where like the stature of a leprechaun kind of can come
Mm,
from.
Yeah.
mm.
Okay. Interesting.
Or leprechauns could come from a water sprite mythology from the Celts, because there are these elves or fairies that were written about in
Mhm.
a book from the 8th century called Lusharp. And in
Okay.
this book, these are little water sprites, and they try and lure this king into the sea while he's sleeping. But he wakes
Ooh.
up and he grabs them. And to get their freedom, they grant him 3 wishes. So almost like a genie.
Ah.
Okay.
Okay. But I think that's where if you catch one, you
Yeah.
Right.
can, yeah, you get
Make a
the
wish.
pot of
You
gold. Right.
can, yeah.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Interesting.
Right. So then we get into these more European folklore male spirits called Leprechaun. And these apparently are like, they like a well-stocked wine cellar. I mean, who doesn't,
Oh,
right?
I was gonna
Right?
say, so they're me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they are small, dressed in red.
So they're not
Okay.
me.
So they're not me.
And they carry a purse of silver coins.
Okay, silver instead of gold.
Oh,
hmm
Interesting.
And they will drink your wine while they're in your cellar, but
right,
Rude.
they will also do you a solid and scare away thieves.
But
right.
they're thieves
Hey,
themselves.
Well, they're
well,
helping,
they gotta
so
get
it's like,
paid.
yeah, it's
Oh,
payment
fair, I
ish.
guess. Still kind of a rude payment to just take my wine, but
Right,
whatever.
Yeah.
right.
All right, so then there's this other thing called the Moor Rose, and this one comes from Spain. And
Okay.
these
Okay.
guard tombs that hide treasure. So that's kind of where
Mm,
that guarding the gold kind of comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
right,
But as you can see, like all of these creatures seem to have a good and a bad side,
Right.
right.
right? The duality of supernatural creatures, if you will.
They're
Okay.
So,
just human.
Right. I was gonna
right.
say, wait, that sounds like everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's get into the leprechaun that morphed from all of these stories.
Okay.
They're
Mm,
small but agile, like a donut.
Agile
Um,
right.
donuts.
they're always male.
Oh,
Oh,
And there
I
is
okay.
no
hadn't
answer on
thought
how
about that.
baby leprechauns are made since there are no females.
They are
Right.
spawned into existence.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
They
they do they asexual reproduction off
yeah,
of the other. Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
Oh, there's a visual for you.
Right. Just one of the little hairballs falls off and it becomes like a gremlin.
Ew.
Oh, they're just gremlins.
Don't feed him
It all
after, don't
comes
Don't
give
give
him
back
them
to
water
water.
after midnight.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so they can be either a fairy or a goblin. So they can go either way.
Okay.
They live alone and they guard treasure, but they can be helpful around the house.
Okay.
Oh,
Like
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
they're gonna dust for me, kind of helpful.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
They do the
Oh,
I
dishes.
wish,
no,
right?
I right? Where's mine? I want one.
So they either wear red or green, sometimes wearing a leather apron and a cocked hat.
Okay.
Okay.
And they are like cranky little men who are wrinkled, they're ugly, they're kind of stern, they're bad-tempered.
You kids
Right.
get off my lawn.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
One source called them foul-mouthed and quarrelsome.
Okay.
Oh.
Quarrelsome.
Yeah.
Was that from the New York Times?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was. And they're usually a shoemaker.
Oh.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Why? I wonder why usually a shoemaker, but all right.
And we'll get into it.
Mm.
But and the human will spot them, usually making shoes because the human can hear the tapping of their hammer.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
And the human will demand that the leprechaun show him the gold, but you have to keep
Show
your
me the
eye on the
money.
leprechaun or he will disappear.
Okay.
Right. Of course.
Right.
No blinking.
Naturally. No.
Yeah, don't blink.
You gotta blink one eye and then the other eye, and yeah.
Yeah.
Blink. Oh, no, that's yeah. I was gonna say, tell me if you get this reference. Never mind.
Are you
Sorry,
going
my brain
Doctor
is
Who?
yeah, blink and you
Yeah.
die, basically, yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Blink 182. My bad.
Yeah. Ooh,
No,
that's a good one though too.
that's a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the leprechaun is not only agile, but he's also kind of a trickster.
Okay.
Mm.
So he'll try and like distract the human by using the
Hmm.
human's own greed against them. And then the leprechaun will escape.
Which probably works a lot.
Oh yeah. And I'm going to talk about one of my favorite other creatures related to the leprechaun,
Okay.
which
Mhm.
sounds like maybe it's like a cousin or something,
Right.
but it's called the chlorican, chlorican,
Okay.
who is
Okay.
also called a night leprechaun.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And this is why I love this guy. He basically is a surly drunk who runs around at night riding animals. That's his whole thing.
Right. Right.
I love it.
I think I've seen some of them in New Orleans.
Right?
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's great.
Back
Okay,
when I lived in
so
Vegas, there were probably a few too.
oh yeah, definitely. Yes, definitely. All right, so petty detail here. There is some imagery out there of these leprechauns sitting on toadstools.
Okay.
Okay.
But this is more from European folklore than traditional Irish.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. But
This
these
is
are
starting
all
to inspire me to create a D&D character based off of a leprechaun. And
nerd.
Ooh, that would be kind of cool.
y'all might watch out for him.
Yeah.
Just watch out.
That actually would be fun because you could do a
Yeah.
lot with that, I think.
Yes.
All right, so but these are all like oral stories.
Mm.
That is until 1604, when the first recorded use of the word leprechaun is used in a book called, you're going to love this. You ready for it? The Honest Whore as Lubrican.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's also interesting to
Lubricant.
me how many of these mythical stories sort of
Mm.
solidified in the 1600s.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Like a lot of stories sort of just, oh, this is where we have the first written or the first depiction or the, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
a lot happened in the 1600s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A lot of books were written, I think, is what it is.
The pamphlet. It
Yeah.
started
It's
with
the
the pamphlet.
pamphlet.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It started with the pamphlet. It all
But this
started with the pamphlet.
It
but this
did.
book describes them as a spirit, but not specifically from Irish mythology.
Okay.
Okay.
And most of the older folk tales that mention leprechauns are not actually about the creature, but only mention them like briefly in telling a story that focuses more on the human character.
Interesting.
So they're
Okay.
kind of like side notes.
I was gonna say
Right.
they're more of a side character energy.
Right.
Mhm.
Interesting.
So a lot of what we think of as more modern leprechauns is actually from Irish poetry.
Oh.
Mhm. So some say that the 19th century Irish poet William Allingham is responsible for the more modern look of the leprechaun. So
Okay.
he wrote a poem called The Leprechaun or Fairy Shoemaker. And this is
Mm.
almost like the night before Christmas of the leprechaun lore.
Hmm.
Oh, that's it. They opened
Interesting.
the four-leaf clover door in that movie when they had like each of the different holidays. Oh,
Yes.
they need to make
Yeah.
more.
All right, so here's what he says. This quote. Lay your ear close to the hill. Do you catch the tiny clamor, busy click of an elfin hammer? Voice of the leprechaun singing shrill as he merrily plies his trade.
Okay.
Okay. And in this poem, he talks about like seizing the shoemaker, how he guards the
Oh.
gold with the shoe
Okay.
buckles, the leather apron, how he's wrinkled
Okay.
and bearded, and
Mhm.
spoiler alert, in the poem, Allingham doesn't get the gold. He takes his eyes off the leprechaun.
He
Oh,
blinked.
Mm-hmm. He
He
blinked.
blinked.
Yep. So, although a guy named McAnley, from the 1888 book Irish Wonders, says that the leprechauns
mhm.
aren't actually cobblers by trade, but the leprechaun has to fix his shoes so much because he runs around and wears them out.
Oh. He
Hey,
ain't in them Nikes.
Yeah,
and they're so small that he can't just go readily buy more. So.
yeah,
Right, of
exactly.
course, of
Right.
course. I'm a child's four. I don't know if I can find these.
Right.
Yeah. This reminds me of this guy we got at work that he's a runner, and he was telling me that his shoes only last like however many miles or whatever.
Oh,
Right.
geez.
Yeah,
God.
which is crazy to
I had
me,
some
but
I had some really
Yeah.
nice Nikes that I definitely should not have been working out in and like running in. And they had like a hole at the bottom. They were so pretty. They were like blue, yellow, and pink.
oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
and
and
I
then
had
you
to
killed
toss
him?
them. And then I wore them way too much, and they were a pretty penny. But
I
maybe
bet.
one day I'll buy new ones. We'll
Yeah,
see,
maybe. All
and
right,
not wear them.
so this guy's description of the nature of the leprechaun is, quote, midway between the good and evil beings of all mythologies, there is often one whose qualities are mixed, not wholly good nor entirely evil, but balanced between the two, sometimes doing generous actions, then descending into petty meanness.
Oh, it's
Petty.
us.
It's
Yes.
us.
I love
Yep.
it.
And then, according to William Butler Yeats, the Irish poet, solitary fairies like leprechauns traditionally wore red, but fairies that lived in groups wore green.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So there we have that like red and green thing again.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
even in about 1831, leprechauns were still described as wearing a red square coat
Interesting.
with,
Oh,
yeah, with gold lace and the cocked hat and the buckle shoes.
Hmm.
bros just March Santa,
Yeah,
Right.
not December Santa. By the time we get to March, he's just
yeah. He's
old and
Yeah.
wrinkly, more
he's
Yeah.
old and more
shrunk
wrinkly.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
has.
and more
Carrying all
cranky,
the
apparently.
yeah, yeah.
carrying all those presents, man. It just,
Yeah,
Right,
brings-
right,
pisses him off.
apparently. Ungrateful children.
Right.
right.
Oh
So it doesn't seem that the leprechaun starts to really wear green until about the 20th century when the lore was merged with
wow.
the clurican.
Okay. Wow, that
Whoa,
recent.
okay.
Huh.
Yeah. So it actually seems like the leprechaun style that we know, which is the green waistcoat, top hat, shoes with buckle, might just be a
Mhm.
reflection of the fashion that the Irish immigrants had coming to the US.
Oh, that
Okay.
makes
Right.
sense.
It does. Totally does.
Although some also say that the leprechaun started wearing green because it camouflaged him better.
Yeah,
I could
bright
see
red
that.
instead of
Yeah, it's not going to
Yeah.
hide you
be.
in the
Yeah, you're like,
green hills of Ireland.
Right.
right, right.
Okay. We're going to talk about a couple of these like folktale stories about leprechauns.
Okay.
So, one is that a farmer finds a leprechaun, and the leprechaun tells him that the gold is under a specific plant or sometimes a tree in a field.
hmm
The farmer marks the plant with a red ribbon, then takes off to get like a shovel to dig for the gold. But when he
hmm
comes back, he finds every plant has a red ribbon on it, and the leprechaun is gone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Devious. I like it.
Yeah.
Too good.
Then there's another story of a girl who finds a leprechaun and holds him in her hands and demands to know where the gold is. But the leprechaun starts shouting like urgently that she's being chased by bees.
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 Okay.
And when she turns around to look, she sees no bees, but she turns back around, finds her hand
Like
empty.
Yep.
gone.
hmm Yeah. The bees kind of weirded me out though. I was like, that's interesting.
Bees.
You're being chased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some of the more modern stories of leprechauns.
Mm.
So, if you've seen our St. Patrick's episode last year, you'll remember
Mhm.
that this story of the Crichton leprechaun out of Mobile,
Oh yeah.
Right.
but came out in 2006 is when the story came out. Apparently, there was
Okay.
a leprechaun seen in this Crichton neighborhood, and it was seen in the middle of the night, but would disappear if you shined a light on it.
Okay.
Right.
And seriously, the news clip of this is hilarious no matter how many times you watch it. So check it out. But yeah, shout out to our mobile people.
You're
Heck yeah.
So there's also a story from the 40s when there was a concrete hole in Portland, Oregon.
oh.
It's in the median of a street, and the hole was supposed to have like a light pole installed, but that never happened.
Okay.
Okay.
So this newspaper guy decided to add some flowers to it. I think he worked across
Oh.
the street.
Okay.
Um, and he decided he was going to call it the world's smallest park.
Oh,
Cute.
that's cute. Okay.
Right. So he then starts writing a column about the adventures of a small leprechaun colony in the park,
Oh, fun.
which was the only leprechaun colony west of Ireland.
That's
Ah,
amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
And he continued to write the column until 1969.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
Okay, but
awesome.
that's fun. I
it's
like
fun.
that.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
So Mills End Park, what it's called, was dedicated in 1948 on St. Patrick's Day, but it actually became an official city park in 1976.
Oh,
Wow.
fun.
So the park is 452 square inches. It's located on Southwest NATO, Naito Parkway.
Okay.
And over the years, the park has gained a swimming pool with a diving board for the
Oh my
butterflies,
gosh.
of course.
For the
Of
butterflies,
course.
Yep.
naturally.
Statues, even a mini Ferris wheel, which apparently was actually brought to the park on a regular sized crane.
Oh my God,
Yes.
that's hilarious.
So much.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you
That's
find yourself in
awesome.
Portland, go and check that out.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it sounds really cool.
It does. I want to go.
Right.
Mm.
And in 1989, Carlingford Art,
Yeah.
I told you I
That
was going
guy.
to butcher some of these words. Carlingford, Ireland had a guy who said he actually found evidence of a leprechaun on Slieve Foy Mountain.
Okay.
Okay.
He found
Evidence.
bones,
Oh.
tiny suit, and gold
Oh,
coins around scorched earth near a wishing well.
Near
that'll do
scorched
it.
earth. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know why that is,
That
but
is a leprechaun.
yeah.
Must be.
But the
Right.
evidence is in a glass case, so you can go and check it out.
Oh, that's crazy.
Okay.
Mhm. And this actually led to an annual tradition of a leprechaun hunt.
Oh, I bet you that's fun.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can go and get a hunting license and then search
Oh
the
my
mountain
gosh.
for 100 hidden ceramic leprechauns.
Okay, that's
Oh,
cool.
okay. That is
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yep. And they also have a bunch of tours with a cavern that you can visit. And there's a few like websites about the last 236 Carlingford leprechauns that you can check out.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Cam, we've also got the movies about leprechauns.
Yeah.
But we're only
Yes.
going to talk about a couple of them.
Okay.
So
Not
the
all of them. Come on.
no, not all of them. So the first one there is a 1968 Francis Ford Coppola directed film
Nice.
Really?
called Finian's Rainbow.
Okay.
It stars Fred Astaire
Of
and
course it does.
and is about this Irishman and his daughter who stole a pot of gold and moved to the United States.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't do great in the theaters and only has about a 50% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Aw.
Oof.
Poor Fred
One
Astaire.
review called it a cheesy, joyless thing.
Whoa.
Joyless. Wow.
Yeah.
Joyless is crazy.
So apparently
That's
it's
rough.
not great.
I was gonna say cheesy could be taken one way or the other, but joyless. Wow.
Joyless.
Yeah. But you got to remember that Fred Astaire was pushing it in 1968.
Mm.
True.
But apparently the
leprechaun.
Broadway show
Oh.
of Finian's Rainbow was pretty good.
Okay.
And the score for the movie was nominated for an Oscar, so there's that.
Oh.
But
Okay.
that's probably because a lot of the music was written by the same guy, E.Y. Harburg, who wrote songs for Wizard of Oz, including Over the Rainbow.
There you go.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, petty detail. Um, this apparently is one of the Coen brothers' favorite movies,
Okay.
who have a Francis Ford Coppola tie-in because they worked with Nick Cage on Raising Arizona.
Okay.
Probably my favorite Nick Cage movie. I digress. So then, so they like, yeah, they did this whole.
Huh.
I want to tell your uncle that I think it's his uncle.
I think so. Yeah, no, I think you're
Yeah,
right.
that this movie's great. They fanboyed big time on that one.
I mean, if you have the opportunity, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, I would totally do it. So then we have the horror series
Woo
Leprechaun from
woo.
1993. There are 8 movies in the series, which
It's an,
stars,
an insane amount of
yeah,
movies, which
There
is
are
crazy.
8 of them.
there are 8 of them.
Yes. I was
Hmm.
like, there's no way. And then
Ah.
I was like, there are 8 of them.
There are,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
They star Warwick Davis. If you don't
Hmm.
know who he is, he it was in
If you don't know who he is, have you been living under a rock?
yeah.
we
If you would
we
have
will
asked
lift
me 5 minutes ago, I would have
we
remembered
will
what he
lift
is.
said rock for you right now.
Uh, yeah, he was in Willow. That's the one I was thinking about.
Yes.
Mm.
Hmm. So, and if you haven't seen that movie, that one's a good one.
Also
Um,
classic.
so anyway, sorry. Okay, so we've got the 8 movies in this series, and Warwick stars in all of them except for 2. There are 2 of them
Ooh,
he isn't the star of.
really?
Yeah. And the movie is about a leprechaun that murders people to get his gold back. Yeah. And apparently the
Right.
leprechaun character in these movies is actually closer to the older folk tales than the modern version.
Bro is
Which would
terrifying.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say which would make sense because a lot of the original folklore stories are terrifying
Yeah.
and they've
Mm.
been Disneyfied
Yeah.
over time.
Yes. I don't care for that movie.
Yeah, I think it's just a nostalgia one for me because I'm just like, I watched that as a kid. I'm
Fair.
like, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably shouldn't have been watching that as a kid. Now I
You
look at it,
watched
I'm
No.
it
like,
as a
God,
kid. I love that.
that's terrifying.
Right. And that's the thing. I don't know if it's because I haven't seen it recently, so I don't know if it's as scary as I remember it.
I also guarantee you it probably does not hold up. There's
Probably
no
Oh,
not.
way. It because
probably
it barely
not.
held up back then.
That's true. That's true. So,
There's
Petty,
also,
go ahead.
oh, are you done with the movies? I just,
No.
okay, then I will not say anything.
Okay. So, there is a petty detail here.
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston made her big screen debut in Leprechaun.
Yes, okay, that's who I remember there being someone. It was her. It was her. It was her. It was her. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Wow.
Okay.
Huh.
I'm done with the movies.
Oh. Okay, there's also I don't think it's definitely not connected to the horror Leprechaun movies, but there is another Leprechaun movie that is a horror movie where it is not like a little green man type of thing. They're like they almost look like if you know what a Wendigo looks like, it's like a
Okay.
pale long thing that like it moves really fast through the forest and these I think this group of kids goes to Ireland and they break something it's like a pillar or something or they move maybe they move gold off the pillar or something like that
Hmm.
and then the like leprechaun like hunts them in the woods and so they have to like get the pillar back the way it was or they like travel past the pillar or something like that
Huh.
before it like kills them. It's crazy. I
That
don't
creature
remember
sounds terrifying, though, for real.
it
Yeah.
was it's scarier than the leprechaun movie one. It's crazy. I almost
I'm
want to
also
look up.
looking up Leprechaun on IMDb. Leprechaun 4 in space.
Yeah.
Right,
What?
right, right.
Yeah. They just get better and better.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. Leprechaun 5 in the hood.
In the
Yes,
hood.
yes,
That's right.
that's the one I watched that one. It's called Leprechaun Origins.
Okay.
It's a 2014 movie.
Nope.
What's the rating on it?
Uh IMDb's 3.2.
Mm, okay.
There's also a Leprechaun Returns from 2018. No clue what it's about, but
Oh,
Yeah.
um, huh.
I think this is the one, correct? Oh, yep. Yep, because that's what it looks like. Oh my God. Hold on. I don't know if
In
you'll be able to see this.
instant regret when he pulls it up.
Is this gonna give me bad dreams?
I can't wait. Is it this? Oh, it's still bad. You can't see
All
it.
right,
It
hold
looks,
on,
you
hold
can
on.
see this part. It's scary.
Yeah.
Oh.
So look up Leprechaun the Origin. Is that what it was called?
Leprechaun
Leprechaun
Origins.
Origins.
Origins. Okay.
Leprechaun colon Origins. He looks like a little goblin. He looks like little Dobby, but like terrifying.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
gonna say no. No, he does not.
He looks like if Dobby was in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Great.
Or is it yeah, it's crazy. He's creepy.
Where? Okay. They've got to have a better picture. Anyway, sorry. I will continue to look.
Okay. Okay,
Sorry,
so
sidetrack, side note. While we're
Side
on movies,
quest.
I just remember that one sticking out to me
yeah.
when I
Well,
was a
I'd never heard of
teenager.
it, so
There you go.
yep. Okay, so let's get into some random petty details here.
Wait.
Okay.
There is a term for unsound or distorted economics data that is called leprechaun economics.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Ireland isn't the only country to have stories about small people with supernatural abilities that are known for luck.
Okay.
Okay.
Iceland, Indonesia, and the Philippines also have stories like that.
Hmm. I
Oh, all right.
wonder. I wonder why the Irish version basically sort of took over.
I would think
If the,
because when the Irish came
Came
here,
to America.
there were probably more of them than people who immigrated from Iceland.
that would make sense.
That's my guess. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what I would think.
Okay, I found a picture. Do you want me to?
All right.
Oh, dang it! Hang on. I found a picture, but then it went away.
I think my it's because my phone has like that fiberglass on it. It's so reflective.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Oh, like there you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's so creepy. It's
Yeah,
creepy.
okay, that thing is not fun.
Yeah.
He also
Hmm.
looks like something else. There was another movie that had a creature that kind of looked like that. I don't remember what it was. I remember it
The,
scared the shit out of me though.
the only thing I connected to is it's a game called Until Dawn where you can like make choices throughout the game and it changes how the outcome
Yeah,
of the game. And the Wendigos in that kind of look like him. That's the only thing that I can make a connection to what it looks like, pretty
You
yeah.
much.
know,
But not a lot of people, well, I guess not a lot of normal people play the game. If you are a person who plays games, you might have heard of the game, but
yeah. Meg, did you ever watch the movie Priest
Yes.
with Paul Bettany?
Hmm.
It looks like the vampires.
That's what it was. Yeah.
oh, it does kind of look
That's
like a vampire.
Because I'm
that's
like,
kind of what.
I remember it.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, it kind of looks
Yeah,
like Nosferatu also.
there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So here's another petty detail. Sean Connery also has a
Oh.
leprechaun tie-in.
Oh?
Really?
Yeah. He was in the 1959 Disney movie Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Okay.
Okay.
At
Huh.
the advanced screening, there was this producer and his wife, and Connery was so good and sexy in the role that the producer's wife recommended him for a role in another movie. That producer was Albert R. Broccoli, and the role was James Bond.
Oh my
Well, all
God.
right.
So the
There you
leprechaun brought
go.
him luck.
How did you
Right?
get the role of 007? So I was a leprechaun
Right.
once,
Right,
and
right, right.
Yeah.
oh
That's
wow.
crazy.
I don't think he was a leprechaun in that movie, but he had
Yeah, okay.
leprechauns. I think he was like the main guy in that movie.
Okay.
Okay, so the official mascot of Notre Dame University,
Uh,
go Indiana, was officially changed to a leprechaun in 1965 when he replaced the Irish Terrier dog.
oh,
Oh,
I didn't realize
okay.
it was that late.
I didn't either. So the Fighting Irish were used to be the Fighting Irish dogs?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
Irish Terrier dogs.
Interesting.
Yeah. Lucky, the leprechaun of Lucky Charms,
Mhm.
the
Right.
cereal, was created in 1963, debuted on St. Patrick's Day of 1964, and his names
Wow.
include Sir Charms and L.C. Leprechaun.
Okay. Sir
Oh.
Charms, I like it.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Okay, another petty detail here.
Woohoo.
Lucky Charms is the first cereal to include marshmallows.
Really?
Whoa.
Mhm.
Okay.
Did you know that you can also just get the marshmallows?
I did,
You
and I
can
have
buy
not done
just the
that.
Lucky Charms. It don't, it's very bad for you because
It's
they're
sugar.
very good.
It's just sugar.
Because it's so good.
Yeah. I actually
Yeah.
stopped buying Lucky Charms for the kids because Dalton would sit there and just eat
Pick them out.
hmm
I'm gonna.
We
Ooh,
never.
okay.
I was more
I'm
of a
gonna.
Fruit Loops kid.
Oh, Fruit
Interesting.
Loops are great.
I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't do Lucky Charms because it was like Fruit Loops are all sugar. The Lucky Charms they at least have some of the normal cereal in it. I guess it's
Yeah.
all sugar too, but
Yeah, I think it evens out.
Yeah. I
yeah.
also don't know
Now,
who I'm
now as
kidding.
an adult, I'm eating Kellogg.
Look
Yay!
at
Ew.
you.
Heart healthy Kellogg.
I'm not even eating that stuff.
God.
Maybe I should.
I was gonna say, yeah. I don't think I've ever eaten sugar cereal other than as
No?
a snack. Like, but in a bowl with milk, I don't think I've ever eaten it that way.
Mm.
Just because
We also used to do Cheerios.
yeah,
Cheerios is always. I like Cheerios just in
regular
general.
Cheerios or like Honey
I
Nut
like the
Cheerios.
honey
Regular.
nut.
Oh, okay.
We
See,
never got the honey nut. We got the normal Cheerios.
I like the
Oh.
regular too.
No, me and my dad would get Captain Crunch,
Okay.
Ooh.
and my mom was so pissed because she wanted like I think we usually ate like Special K or something like that.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah. And he was sneaking in the Captain Crunch.
That's too good.
My dad, I think my dad's
Oh.
favorite, well, before my brother and I were born, he used to eat Captain Crunch all the time. Like, he
Mm,
loves Captain Crunch. But then when we were born and when we were growing up, my mom was like, no sugar cereal.
right.
So we had, like cornflakes and
Yeah.
Cheerios and,
Although
stuff
if you
like
start
that.
looking at those, they aren't that much more healthy than
No.
the sugar stuff.
Mm-mm.
Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I mean, they really aren't.
they
It's
really aren't. Yeah.
Someone,
crazy.
I forgot who it was. Someone was like, "Oh yeah, I ate grape nuts as a kid." I was like,
Ugh.
"Did your
I
mom
will put,
hate you?" Like, what?
seriously, I will put grape nuts in some yogurt,
Oh my
but only
Mm-mm.
God.
because, but like, I have to let it kind of sit in there a little bit just because
Ugh.
otherwise I crack a tooth. Like,
Yeah,
Right,
no.
right.
The other
bad.
one that I hate was malto meal.
Oh,
Ew, what is that? That sounds
It's like a
disgusting.
cream of wheat, but it's like
it's
shitty
almost like
cream of
an
wheat.
off-brand cream of wheat.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I would
I
say it's like
always
in
I
between cream of wheat and grits, but
Oh.
not good on either side.
Yeah.
Right, right,
Like
right. The
the
bad
bad
parts.
aspects of both.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I hot take, I had tricks one time. They're disgusting. Those are
Really?
gross.
I haven't
I
had
don't
Tricks
tricks
are
think
in a
I've
bad.
long time.
ever had tricks, to be
I
honest.
had them once at my grandma's and I was like, I'm not I
Huh.
can't. I
Yeah,
don't
I
want
don't
it.
think I've ever
Well,
And
were
the
had.
you a kid? Because
I was
silly
like
rabbit
I was a
tricks are for
teenager.
kids.
Oh,
Well, see,
Oh,
okay.
that's
so
the
See,
true.
problem.
I was a
tricks are for
teenager.
kids.
Oh, it's
You
too
missed it.
late.
You missed your window, man.
Yep.
I missed it. Silly rabbit. Paint me silly rabbit.
That's right.
Yep.
I must be. Gosh.
All right. So, our last petty detail here. In 2009, the EU granted heritage status to the 236 remaining leprechauns that are in the caverns of Sleeve Foy, which we talked about earlier.
Nice.
Right.
I like it.
Wow.
Yeah. And this status also protects the animals and flora in the area, too.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So there you
Very
go.
cool.
There's some butchered words and weird petty details for you.
I
Some
love it.
petty details about leprechauns.
That's what we're
Yeah.
all about.
Beautiful, beautiful leprechauns.
So stay petty, my friends, but not as
Yes.
petty as to descend into petty meanness.
Right.
Oh, never petty
Unless you're one of
means.
us.
No.
Right, right. We got high class
Yeah.
status.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.